Imagine working for 3.5 years straight without earning a single penny. That's what it would take for every person on Earth to pay off the world's total debt, which has crossed a staggering $300 trillion. Let's take a moment to let that sink in. That's not just the debt of one country or one company or one individual. That's the combined debt of every single nation, every single company, every single individual on Earth. And it's not a number that's getting smaller, it's a number that's been growing steadily, relentlessly for over 15 years. This is the unsettling reality of the global debt crisis, a crisis that affects every single one of us, no matter where we live or what we do. It's a crisis that has been intensified by events beyond our control, such as the COVID-19 pandemic and the war in Ukraine. To give you an idea of the scale of the problem, let's break it down a bit. $300 trillion is roughly $38,000 for every man, woman, and child on the planet. That's more than the annual salary of many people. It's more than the GDP of many countries. But this isn't just about the numbers. This is about the impact of this debt on our lives. It's about the companies that go bankrupt because they can't pay their debts. It's about the countries that are crippled by their financial obligations. It's about the individuals who are forced into poverty because they can't keep up with their repayments. This debt is a burden that we all carry, a burden that weighs us down and holds us back. It's a burden that we pass on to our children and our children's children, and it's a burden that, if left unchecked, could bring the world economy to its knees. The world's debt has become a ticking time bomb ready to explode at any moment. And unless we start taking this issue seriously, we may find ourselves facing a financial catastrophe of unprecedented proportions. Behind these mind-boggling numbers, there are real people, just like you and me, struggling to keep their heads above water. Take Maria, a single mother of two from Spain. Her story is one of courage in the face of adversity. With a debt of over $50,000, she juggles multiple jobs to keep her family afloat. Yet the interest on her loans keeps growing, and the debt seems insurmountable. But Maria isn't alone. She represents the millions of people worldwide whose lives have been radically altered by debt. Now let's travel to Japan, a country with one of the highest national debts in the world. Here we meet Hiroshi, a once thriving small business owner who, due to mounting business debts, had to close his shop. The burden of debt has forced him to take on several part-time jobs, creating a life of constant work and little rest. From Spain to Japan, the stories are different, but the theme is the same: ordinary people's lives, dramatically impacted by the weight of debt. In the United States, we find another narrative. Meet Sarah, a recent college graduate. She's saddled with over $100,000 in student loans. Despite landing a decent job, the bulk of her income goes towards servicing her debt, leaving little for savings, let alone a comfortable lifestyle. Her story echoes the predicament faced by many young Americans today, locked into a cycle of debt before they've even started their careers. These personal stories serve as a stark reminder of the human cost behind the astronomical debt figures we so often hear about. They highlight the pervasive nature of debt, cutting across geographical boundaries, socioeconomic classes, and generations. Debt is more than just a financial burden, it's an emotional and psychological one too. It brings with it a constant sense of unease, a feeling of being perpetually on the edge. It's a life of stress, worry, and uncertainty. The chains of debt are not just economic but also psychological, leading to a life of stress and uncertainty. The 2008 financial crisis was a wake-up call for the world, but did we heed the warning? It was a financial cataclysm that rippled across the globe, triggering a chain reaction of debt that we're still grappling with today. The crisis revealed the flaws in our global financial system: an over-reliance on credit, risky investments, and unchecked speculation. Let's take a closer look at Spain, a country that was particularly hard hit. The burst of the housing bubble left the country in ruins. Unemployment soared, banks collapsed, and the government was left with a staggering debt that continues to burden the nation. The crisis showed us that no country is an island, and that our financial destinies are more interconnected than we might think. But it wasn't just countries like Spain that felt the aftershocks of the 2008 financial crisis. The reverberations were felt in the towering skyscrapers of Dubai too. Here, the ambitious project known as the World, a man-made archipelago designed to resemble a world map, was stalled in its tracks. The vision was grand, the ambition was high, but the reality? A half-finished project and a mountain of debt. These are but two examples of the far-reaching consequences of the 2008 crisis. but they serve as stark reminders of what can happen when debt spirals out of control. From the individual homeowner in Spain to the ambitious developers in Dubai, the crisis left no stone unturned. The fallout from the financial crisis is a stark reminder of the dire consequences of unchecked debt. It's a lesson in the importance of financial responsibility, both at the individual and the collective level. Because when the bubble bursts, it's not just the banks that feel the pain, it's ordinary people, it's entire nations. The scars of the financial crisis are still visible, reminding us of the dire consequences of unchecked debt. And as we look to the future, we must remember these lessons from the past. Because if history teaches us anything, it's that those who forget the past are doomed to repeat it. As the saying goes, necessity is the mother of invention, and in the face of a debt crisis, some have found innovative solutions. In the desert city of Dubai, they've responded to debt not by tightening their belts, but by dreaming bigger. After the 2008 financial crisis threatened to halt the ambitious The World Project, a man-made archipelago mimicking the world map, the city doubled down on innovation. Dubai's leaders didn't just weather the storm, they used it as an opportunity to rethink and redesign their approach to development. Today their skyline boasts some of the world's most iconic buildings, a testament to their resilience and creativity in the face of adversity. Meanwhile, across the globe in Germany, the city of Duisburg took a different approach. Once a city burdened by debt, Duisburg turned its fortunes around by becoming a logistics hub. Strategically located at the intersection of major European trade routes, the city leveraged its geographical advantage to attract businesses. Today, Duisburg stands as an example of how a city can transform its economy and pay off its debts through strategic planning and clever utilization of resources. But the story isn't as bright in the United States. Here the debt crisis has had a profound impact on individuals, leading to widening inequality and personal struggles. The burden of debt has been disproportionately placed on the shoulders of the middle and lower class, while the rich continue to accumulate wealth. This has led to an economy where the top 1% holds more wealth than the bottom 50% combined. The struggle to pay off personal debts has become an everyday reality for many Americans, leading to a crisis of affordability and accessibility in essentials such as healthcare and education. These diverse responses offer a glimmer of hope, showing that with creativity and determination, debt can be overcome. Yet, they also highlight the immense challenges that remain. As we grapple with the global debt crisis, these examples serve as a reminder that there is no one-size-fits-all solution. What works for one may not work for all, and the journey to overcoming debt is as diverse as the people and places it affects. So, is the world on the brink of collapse, or can we steer the ship away from the iceberg? As we reach the conclusion of this deep dive into the global debt crisis, we've seen the unsettling reality of a world drowning in debt. From personal stories of struggle to the impact of the 2008 financial crisis and the diverse responses to the debt conundrum. The world's total debt is an astronomical figure, exceeding $300 trillion. To put that into perspective, it would take every person on the planet working 3.5 years without pay just to clear this debt. This staggering debt level has profound impacts on individuals, with personal stories painting a grim picture of the dramatic effects on lives. The 2008 financial crisis brought a global chain reaction of debt, which we're still grappling with. Countries like Spain are still feeling the aftershocks, and ambitious projects like The World in Dubai were stalled, leaving a stark reminder of the crisis. Yet amidst these challenges, we've seen diverse responses to the debt crisis. From ambitious projects in Dubai to a city in Germany transforming into a logistics hub to pay off its debts, the human spirit of resilience shines through. So, what's the way forward? It's essential to stay informed and proactive in managing personal finances. Governments must also adopt sustainable fiscal policies, and corporations should strive for ethical business practices. Debt forgiveness programs, tighter financial regulations, promoting economic equality, and fostering financial literacy from a young age can also play crucial roles in tackling this global issue. In the face of adversity, we must remember that every crisis presents an opportunity for change and innovation. For instance, the rise of digital currencies and blockchain technology could potentially revolutionize the world's financial system and provide solutions to the debt crisis. The journey to a debt-free world is long and arduous, but with collective effort and smart decisions, we can prevent a global economic collapse. Remember to subscribe to our channel for more insightful videos and give this one a like if you found it helpful.